Shalom from Israel, I'm Ariel Ben Abraham. This week we're going to reflect on Psalm 52 by King David. We start, this is an introduction, but we're going to go directly to the content. It's like, it begins verse 1. What boasts you in evil? Why do you pride yourself in evil? All powerful one is referring to a king. The kindness, the loving kindness of God is always present, it's all the day. Let's try to understand what is this. We're referring to power. David is addressing a powerful person. And usually in those times when, especially the kings of the nation, and still there's some people who are presidents or rulers in countries that are very, very bad to the people. But that was the case in those times also. And David is addressing a king regarding evil, the evil that he's doing to his people. And then he said, why do you pride yourself off in evil? He said, what's the point of being a despot or being a oppressor or being someone who is mistreating his people, doing evil to the people? So David is confronting them. He's like, why are you doing evil if God does loving kindness constantly? It's like you don't look like God in any way. And again, the idea that he's a king, God is, we have the image in Judaism, it's an image, it's not a definition, it's a representation, it's a symbol. That God is a king. King in terms of ruler of his universe. He controls and directs his creation. And he's a good king. He's a good ruler. He's a good creator. Because he treats, as he says, King David, in his psalm, he said he leads his people with love, loving kindness and compassion. His creatures. And he treats his creatures with goodness. Because he's good. So it's like, if God, his loving kindness all the time, all day, how come you're evil? And you pride yourself, doing evil. In other words, what we say last week, when we're talking about God, His majesty, His glory, His face, the radiance of His face, His presence, we're talking about traits and qualities that defines His relation, the way He relates to His creation. Okay? So loving kindness is capital one, is essential one. Abundant loving kindness. The others are compassion, truth, slow to anger, grace, forgiveness. So, it's like we're supposed to emulate our true king, the real one. How come that you're a powerful person, you're a king, you pride yourself on doing evil to your people? It's like, why don't you, you're a king, you're supposed to emulate God. You are not doing that. So in other words, the lesson is, we're all kings. So we're supposed to treat people as God treats us. You have to be good, you have to be compassionate, you have to be caring, you have to be protecting, compassionate, cooperative, helpful, helper. So then we are emulating our king. It's like, wow, I'm a good king because I'm like the higher king, the highest king. So that's the idea. So continues verse 2, mischiefs does my tongue, your tongue, referring to this person, devise like a sharp razor working deceit. He's describing the evil that this person is doing. Is basically speaking negatively. This is the specific quality or trait that King David is addressing regarding this sinner king. It's like a sharp razor working deceit. It's like the guy is destructing by his speech, with his speech, other people. You have loved evil rather than good, lying than speaking righteousness. Be it. It's like that's the way you're doing it. So he's addressing what we were saying before. He's saying, how come you could be so evil? You're supposed to be good. 4. You have loved all devouring words, O you deceitful tongue. It's pure evil, what this man is saying with his words. Rather than good. Lying. You have loved all devouring words, you deceitful tongue. Again, everything that is good has been erased by this person. He's not just speaking evil, he's destructing goodness. There's something serious charges that King David is doing against this other king. Also, God does break you down forever. It's asking God to curse him. It's like, if this person is doing evil, deserve being punished. Take you and pull you out of the tent, and he uprooted you out of the land of the living. Like, may God kill you. Now, what King David is saying is something very important that we have to take into consideration. Between good and evil, this is pretty much black and white. There is no in between. This person is evil, we have to cut him off. We have to be in the same way that they destroy, they deserve to be destroyed. So it's not about a punishment necessarily, it's cause and effect. It's a matter of keeping things in the right proportion. If you see someone who is destructing, killing, and demeaning life, he doesn't deserve to live. But King David is asking God to do the job. It's like, God, you're rightful, you want good to prevail on earth. Destroy people who destroys your goodness. Don't let them be. Yeah, they have free will. They can choose between or evil, but they're supposed to choose goodness, not evil. Evil is only a reference for us to exercise free will, and we have said this many times. So King David is asking God, kill this man forever. So be it. Verse 6, and the righteous see and fear and laugh at him. In other words, when you see an evil person, either we fear, we laugh, but of course we have to have an opposite quality to understand that the person is evil. It's like, or we laugh at him. It's like, but again, we have to understand that this is not a laughing of, oh, look how bad he is. Sounds like. But the idea is that King David is inviting us to despise. There is a part in the book of Deuteronomy, it's one of the last few portions, in which the literal translation, we don't have the exact verse, it's that when they go to war, okay, we have to, at some point, there is a verb that some of the translators or interpreters of the Hebrew Bible, they translate it as laughing. It's like you have to laugh about your enemy. We translate it in other ways, but the literal translation, or the root, the semantic root of the verb is like, you have to mock your enemy. This is what David is referring to here. In other words, you have to despise them to the point of becoming laughable. So it's a laughable of despise, not a laughing of, oh, how bad it is. No. It's like you're so stupid in the way you act that you're laughable. Because you're doing things out of stupidity, out of unawareness. That's why you're evil. So you become a laughing matter here. You're not serious. You're not a serious foe. You're not a serious enemy. We laugh at you. We're going to kill you. You're laughable. You don't know what you're doing. This is a deep understanding, by the way. This is not easy to understand. But of course, we have to see it. We have to understand it, perceive it in a way in which that's the attitude that we have to have when evil comes. Instead of fear, because it's that many reactions that David is putting here, fear and laugh. There are two ways that we can see it. But again, we have to choose demeaning evil, despising evil, make fun of it. But again, to erase it, not to let it be, especially no, to erase it. That's why he's asking God to eliminate him. Take him out of the land of the living. Verse 7. Behold, the man who makes not God his strong place, his fortress, his strength, and trusts in the abundance of his riches. In other words, he prefers to follow his own talents, his own richness, and not make God his own richness. He is strong in his mischiefs. In other words, if people believe that when David is talking about that the man is trusting the abundance of his riches, he's talking about his ego's fantasies and illusions. Like if you believe that and you don't believe in God as your place of strength, you're doomed. You're going to keep doing evil. Because you have to make God your strength, your source of strength. Then you're gonna do good. So there is no need to go to your own ego's fantasies and illusions in order to do anything. Because as long as you do go into the negative trends of ego's fantasies and illusions, meaning coveting, envy, jealousy, wrath, haughtiness, arrogance, indolence, indifference, those are the negative qualities of the trends that attract us to fantasies and illusions out of, as we said many times, feelings or beliefs of lack. Oh, I want that because I don't have it, and I feel this, and if I have that, we will keep continuing sinning, meaning doing mischief. Because we are trusting these qualities that aggrandizes the ego, the self-centeredness, and then we will continue in the negative predicament. We're not going to get out of there. But we'll continue doing mischief, as wisely King David is putting it. Verse 8, and I, as a green olive in the house of God, I have trusted in the loving kindness of God. In other words, David is contrasting himself with this evil king to the age and forever. And let's finish. I think you always, in you, as David is telling God, I thank you always up into my old age, because you have done it, goodness to me. And I wait on your name, because it is good before all the righteous. So in other words, even among the righteousness, you are the one that I go. But again, let's go back to 8. I, as a green olive in the house of God, an olive tree in the house of God. Now we said that olive tree is a tree that gives many years, hundreds of years strong. The leaves change very little. They stay a long time there without changing. And again, an olive is special because from the olive comes the olive oil, and with that oil we burn the lights of the temple and light in general. And then planted in the house of God. So talking about, we are basically the image, the metaphor that King David is using is great. Because you say, I'm strong like an olive tree, firm for old age, that I'm going to be living a long time, planted in your house. Why? Because you're my strength. So being planted in the house of God, meaning, planted in the temple. No, in the temple we cannot plant trees. By a commandment from the Torah, we can't. So therefore it's a metaphor. Meaning that we're planted in the strength that God's loving kindness is. And again, not just loving kindness, truth, grace, compassion, slow to anger, forgiving. All the traits that good, as we have said before, relates to His creation, with which He relates to His creation. So I am and I as a green olive in the house of God, olive tree. I have trusted in the loving kindness of God to the age, meaning up until I die, and forever. I thank you until my old age, until I die, because you have done it, you have done loving kindness to me. And I wait on your name. And again, the name of God is His ways and attributes. For it is good before all righteous. This can be understood in several ways. Either like I follow you above all righteous, or even in front of the righteous. Goodness, your goodness is also there. This righteousness is the righteousness of goodness and the goodness of righteousness that are meant to prevail against the evil ways of the negative trends and traits of egos, fantasies, and illusions. So with this we end our commentary in this short psalm by King David, Psalm 52. As always, we wish you a wonderful week, an extremely abundantly blessed Shabbat, and until next time.